estamos aquí súper contenta, emocionada, porque qué mejor forma de disfrutar de todas las actividades que tiene el Super Bowl que entrevistando a una de las pioneras, a una de las mujeres, como decimos las mexicanas, una fregona en esto del fútbol americano. Tengo el gusto de darle la bienvenida a Jen, que fue entrenadora con los Cardenales de Arizona, que además empodera a las mujeres y el día de mañana tiene un gran evento. Welcome, Jen. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. It's great company.
No, you're great company. We're excited for you to be here. And most importantly, talk to us about this event you have going on tomorrow, encouraging women, taking over an entire stadium, 100% female. I mean, I want to know more about this.
We are taking over the Rose Bowl tomorrow. It is for a day in the life. And on this day, the women are front and center. So we are bringing women onto the field to get them into the game. My co-host Alyssa Milano and I are going to welcome everyone in. You will get this dope shirt right here. And then we're going to take on the football field. And we will get a playbook, so everybody will get to learn from the insider's perspective. And oh, by the way, we have a bunch of the baddest bees in the game. We have Adrian Smith, we have Lois Cook, we have Tony Harris, we have Ninji Martin, we have the San Diego Rebellion. And, we brought in a couple of guys for a little flavor too, like Hall of Famer Rod Woodson, Ricky Williams, Will Witherspoon. We let the guys come and play too, because they can help the ladies learn. But what we really wanted to do was create something very special where every woman who loved the game of football, but who hadn't had a chance to learn it by doing, gets to really get access and opportunity for the game, no matter what her football level, no matter what her fitness level. We're going to bring her into my world for a day in the life of my world where women have come to play and we ain't playing no games.
Un día en la vida de Jen impresionante. La verdad es que es genial saber que hay mujeres como tú que tienen la oportunidad y que dan el apoyo a las mujeres que están comenzando, que quieren saber de qué se trata jugar el fútbol americano, porque tú tuviste la oportunidad de jugar. You've played football, you've coached football, you've been around men, you've been around women. But why is this so important to you? Why is opening doors for women, for this next generation, so important to you?
Yeah, it's so interesting. When I was in the NFL, one of the things I heard over and over was, thank you for making me feel not wrong for loving the game of football. And so I believe that in being the first, the opportunity and responsibility is to ensure you're not the last. So why not create my own events where I get to put women out front? I get to have women as coaches. I get to do all of the things that I was told I couldn't do and use the platform and opportunity to open this great game up. And so for me, anytime I can infuse goodness and opportunity and access in the community through an event, that's what I'm going to do. And that's why it's a day in the life. This is a life that I was told I could never have. And now I get to have it. And now I get to throw a big party at the Rose Bowl and bring my friends with me to open this game up. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. I'm a big kid at heart. I played linebacker throughout my career. I know I can tackle anything, so why not tackle this?
Increíble, es impresionante todo lo que estás haciendo por esta nueva generación, darles este tipo de oportunidades y ante todo hacerlas entender. Algo que tú dices es sumamente importante. El ser la primera tiene una responsabilidad de no ser la última, de abrir la puerta a la siguiente mujer y más en el tema del fútbol americano, porque estar dentro del campo puede ser algo intimidante. Cuando dicen es el mundo de hombres, ¿cómo es que una mujer puede abrirle la puerta a otra? Tal como lo estás haciendo tú, Jen. Pero me gustaría saber, what is the advice you have for that next generation who continues to doubt themselves, who feels a little threatened through these activities, a day in the life of? You're obviously letting them know, hey, you belong too. But even with these events, some of these girls are they're still a little intimidated to come out and be among powerful women like yourself.
Well, one of the cool things is that powerful people love to empower others. And so this is a place and a space where I found my power. And I know that when I put the ball in your hands or in another girl's hands, I can uplift you through education and opportunity. We don't get better if we don't try it. We don't get better if we don't ask questions. None of us is perfect. None of us has the answers. So let's get ugly, right? Let's get really ugly. There are a lot of things like if you heard my Spanish earlier. That was really ugly. But the only way I'm going to get better is to get to it, to get through it. And you have to get awkward. You have to get out of your comfort zone in order to really stretch yourself and see how good you can be. So why not try it as opposed to just counting yourself out first? And the advice I get for every girl is let your game speak. Let your game speak louder than your gender, louder than your haters, louder than your doubters, and certainly louder than social media. Because when you're good, someone will want you. And if they are not the right one, then I want you to go ahead and run past them and do it with such conviction that you give them whiplash with your ponytail because they say, dang, was that a girl? Because if they miss out on you, let them miss you because they can kiss you somewhere else as you run by because they don't deserve you. And the truth is, too many times we get stuck on the ones that don't want us. And instead of going where we're tolerated, we need to focus where we'll be celebrated and finding other people who will celebrate us for those gifts.
Now, Jen, you know this is an international program. We speak to women, Latinas, speak to women that speak Spanish as well, English in the U.S., in Mexico. Our women's national team in Mexico just went off to a championship a couple years ago. They were full-on pads. They didn't do the flag. There is the flag, but, right, absolutely. Yeah. This is exactly what I wanted to know. What do you think? Why is it so important to continue to promote women playing football in pads, full uniform? We're not talking lingerie, bikini. We're talking full pad uniform.
Well, first of all, if y'all don't know it, you have some ballers in Mexico. I actually came down to Monterey and ran a camp down there. I've worked with several of the girls from the national team. And what was so important is they had such love, passion, fire for the game, and they needed good coaching, right? All of this stuff is great. But we need to showcase that women can play the same game in the same way, and it doesn't have to be undressed for success, right? We don't have to take off our clothes to have people watch, right? These women play football, and they play it well. And if you let them play it well and you support them with the same access and resources, guess what? The level of competition is going to keep going up and up and up and up. And for all of you watching now, remember, your daughters are watching too. And not just your daughters, but your sons. And your sons see that either women and men are the same and we can play the same game with the same access, opportunity, and protection, frankly, or that women, again, are not worthy of the same platform, or that the only way they can be paid attention to is if they bare their skin. Women don't have to undress for success, and we need to address that and make it a real thing in real time.
Now, Jen, you said we need coaches, we need better structure. Is that something that's in your plans? You talked about a playbook. You talked about being in Monterey. Are we going to see you in Mexico in the next few months? Maybe, in the next year or so? Are we going to have a day of the life in the life of Jen international?
Look, anytime I can come down to Mexico, I'm there. I'm also a heck of a fisher person. I know how to rig a sailfish bait. Don't get it twisted. I was in Mujeres when I was like 14 years old. So if there's fishing and football, I'm definitely in. But I would love to come down there and teach. I mean, the international game, that's the biggest challenge is coaches, right? Like I was a head coach of the Australian women's national team. And one of the reasons I went is because their coaches had such passion. Their players had such passion, but their coaches were really like teaching themselves how to coach football from YouTube. And they've called it American football for a long time. And I think that's a disservice, right? We call it gridiron in Australia. And I think what's so important is that we do open the playbook and that we make sure that the game rises at all points and that we're open about access and knowledge and playbooks and making the game better, more compelling, and safer for all parties involved. So I would be happy to come down to Mexico. I have much love. I will absolutely need help translating, though, because right now I just know tequila and tacos.
This is what they're all going to tell you. Es lo único que necesitas saber. Cómo pedir el tequila y cómo pedir los tacos. Y el fútbol americano es el mismo idioma. Football's the same language. It's football here, there. As you said, you can call it American football. You can call it whatever you want. It's the same game. It's the same pads. It's the same routes. Well, a little different routes. They can change. But at the end of the day,
football is football. Route tree is at least sort of consistent.
Exactly. Well, Jen, where can people follow you? Where can they get more information as far as when you are coming to Mexico? If we are going to have you in the next months, maybe coach's clinic, or a day in the life of.
At Welter 47, you see up there is my Instagram. My website is really simple. It's jenwelter.com. Also, Jen Welter on LinkedIn. And at jwelter47 on Twitter. So go ahead, hit me up. The A Day in the Life site is footballisfemale.com. So, hit me up, whatever we can do to expand the game and make it more equitable and more inclusive. I'm in for that.
All right, and we will have a recap. Tendremos un resumen de todo lo que fue un día en la vida de Jen para mañana por la tarde en el programa. Y también tendremos más información porque continuaremos la relación con Jen. We're going to keep an eye on you, Jen. We want to make sure you come out to Mexico. So today, we're virtual. Tomorrow, we're live. We're taking over the Rose Bowl with all of your friends, and we're going to let everyone know what this has been like. And then, soon enough, we'll let them know where they can subscribe, sign up to potentially your day in life in Mexico. Yes, I'm totally committing you to it.
Let's do it. I'm loving it. Let's do it. I cannot wait.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jen.
You got it. Have a good one.
Bueno, ahí tienen la vida de Jen Welter. Varias muchachas van a poder participar, van a poder ser parte de esta clínica el día de mañana, donde estará junto con varios de sus amigos. Les llama ella, veteranos, Hall of Famers, jugadores que próximamente esperemos podamos tener también en México.